Hey guys, we are at CEDIA 2023 at one of the biggest booths here at the show. I'm here with Kayvon with Sony. We're gonna take a look at everything they've got here. A lot of your products. We've got TVs, projectors, a whole bunch of stuff. Kayvon, it's always a pleasure hanging out with you, brother. Tell us what we got at the show this year.
Yeah, no, sure thing. We're showing off quite a few wide range of things. First off, TV, we got Pro Display, we got our Crystal LED modular display, obviously projection and all the awesome home theater stuff.
Yeah.
And I just want to do a deep run through with everything that we're showing. And honestly, it's just really exciting to, even though we're not showing as much new product year over year, just making the fine tweaks and everything that is needed to really master what we have out, and to include the Leon frame, which we'll talk about in a little bit. So really excited.
So what do we got right here? This thing is massive. I mean, I'm 5'11". This TV is huge. What do we got here?
Yeah, no, this is the 98 X90L, and this is kind of our answer to not only large panel, but also ultra short throw, since that is a popular solution for more well-lit or ambient lit environments. Having a one-piece solution where you don't have to worry about nudging the cabinet and maybe moving the projector on accident, and also just having a more well-lit option as well. As you can see with all the lighting we have, it's no chump in terms of keeping up with it. And my favorite thing about the 98 X90L is the fact that it has XR clear image processing algorithm. And what that processing algorithm is there for is really to make sure streaming content, because of how popular streaming has become, comes out as clean as possible from image noise. Mosquito noise is kind of the new term that the industry is using, and making it as close to that Blu-ray experience that we were used to a few years ago, but without the hassle of Blu-ray. So really excited to see on a large format screen, even down to the processing algorithms, we're making sure that these TVs look as great as they do.
And these are becoming much more affordable now, right?
Right, at $10,000, which sounds like a ton of money, but considering what a 98-inch was just a few years ago, and that $20,000 price point, is really nice to see these larger format screens making their way down into that more affordable price point. And Mike, over here, what we're showing is all of our LED options. So LED is no chump, although OLED is awesome in contrast. It's really neat to see, for those more affordable price points, what we're able to do on artificial LED. So first off, mini LED over here. This is our X95L. This guy is only in an 85-inch and is really dedicated to giving you the no compromise 85 LED. So if you did want to have as close to that Z9K, which is our 8K mini LED, but in a 4K option, that's basically what this is here for. You get a ton of zones of local dimming. You get some great backlight control with what's called backlight master drive, which we actually debuted that processing algorithm back in, I believe, 2016 with the Z9D. And that TV was just a rock star. So to see that processing algorithm make its way into the new mini LEDs is really exciting to see.
So we got plenty of other ones over here. So maybe for education purpose, what would be the difference between like somebody wanting to go to an OLED to LED?
I think the biggest thing is brightness. When we take a look at contrast, it is a shift. It's not a right or a wrong option. You have, let's say, your brightest bright and your darkest dark, and that just shifts up or down, depending on if you want to go with LED or OLED. So if you do want that more punch to your brighter scenes, definitely go with LED. And if you like that contrast all around, I think that's kind of where OLED kind of sits. You get great blacks and some good brights, and especially with the QD OLED, which we'll see here in just a second, the new Quantum Dot OLED is a lot brighter than the last iteration, and we offer in a 77-inch. But sticking back over here, we also have the X93L, which is going to be right next to the X95. Not as many zones of local dimming, but the reason why we wanted to offer a no compromise in an 85 is because at that screen size, you're going to notice that a lot more. When you go with a 75 or a 65, you don't necessarily need as much of that horsepower or that hardware. So that's where the X93 is, but you can also get a more affordable 85 mini LED in that series as well. And Mike, my favorite part about that series, the new Leon frame, which we'll go ahead and at some point get over to that part of the booth, but the new Leon frame looks beautiful on that TV. It is made for the X93L, and you don't need to compromise picture quality to get good aesthetic anymore. Now you can have that awesome aesthetic that a frame TV can give you without sacrificing picture quality. And Mike, the X90 series back here, which we saw in the 98 up front first, is also available in a plethora of sizes. So if you didn't want to go mini LED, you wanted to have one series throughout the house in a 55 all the way up to a 98-inch, you have that option in the X90, which is going to be a traditional full array TV, but still powered by that XR processor, which is driving all of the awesome hardware here.
I love it, man. You got so much to offer. So really, like, no matter what you have, what space you have, you've got something for them.
Right. And now that we've talked about LED, let's go ahead and hop on over to OLED and show what we got going on there. And Mike, what we have back here is all of our OLED on this entire wall, but the 83A80L is going to be the replacement for the 83A90J. And the reason why this is getting an 83-inch, before we didn't have an 83-inch in this series. So getting the 83-inch and an A80L, we are now incorporating the speaker terminals that used to be on the side of the 83A90J, where you can actually physically wire this TV into a receiver or an amplifier.
Nice.
If you wanted to use the TV speaker, which uses acoustic surface, the glass actually reproduces the speaker, and have an 83-inch center channel essentially, which is just crazy. But we also offer this TV all the way down to a 55-inch. And then moving from here, we have our Quantum Dot OLED back here, which the Quantum Dot OLED is an awesome set, mostly because it is 2 times as bright as our last iteration, and Quantum Dot has solved a lot of the issues that traditional OLED has had, where your whites tend to shift a little bit more to a bluish tint. Now you get a lot more accurate color, but especially when you're bumping your brightness up, which is what this guy is known for. So as you can see, we're getting into that LED level of brightness without sacrificing the contrast and the color accuracy on a, let's say, a traditional OLED panel. So this has been an awesome addition to our series lineup, and also in a 77-inch. We've only had it in a 55 and a 65, and now we can get it in a 77, which we're really excited about. And lastly, for the OLEDs, we got the making their encore return. So this is one of our prior year models, the A90K, offered in a 48 and a 43-inch size. So with these two are 48 and 42, my correction. It's honestly kind of weird to see that good of picture quality on such a small screen. But the reason why we're carrying these over year, they've just done so well from a performance and a sales perspective. It's one of those, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Still has the awesome XR processor and obviously the great OLED punch that kind of image can give you. So from an OLED perspective, we've really stepped our game up year, especially with the Quantum Dot OLED and that new A80 series.
Nice, man. I love it.
Awesome, man.
So Kayvon, I love home theater. I've got a dedicated theater room. There's a lot of my followers, they don't have a dedicated theater room. Matter of fact, 2/3 of them have a living room set up, and some of them don't have the ability or even the desire to have big, massive speakers, but they want better sound than what can be produced from a TV. So you've got some solutions for that as well.
Yeah, the soundbars, I mean, just in general, soundbars are there to, no pun intended, amplify your TV audio, just because we've lost TV speaker technology with how nice and aesthetically slim they are. And we have a few options here. So first off, starting at the top, we have the 7000 series soundbar. This is going to be a 712 formatted soundbar all up front. And if you wanted to wirelessly expand into surround rears, you can do that with our RS3 or RS5 speakers, which the RS5 is actually a top firing Atmos solution as well. So you can go from a 712 to a 714 system and really expand that that overall soundstage. And then you can drop down to the 5000. It's a 512 option, also expandable with those rears. And mind you, the RS5 rears are actually wireless. So they can be battery powered. You just power them on for movie night, add them on, and then during the day, maybe you just want to watch what's on the soundbar and not have as much of that boom. And then lastly, our 3.1 option. This is going to be our A3000 soundbar, and this is just great having a dedicated center channel for dialogue. That's really where we want to make sure that we're getting our clients into, is at least having a dedicated center channel on a soundbar with 3.1. And my favorite part about all these soundbars is the fact that you can do acoustic center sync with the TV. So through a stereo mini cable mic, you can run that to the soundbar, and all of your high frequencies will peak on the TV and raise the soundstage to be more in line with what's happening on the screen, instead of it all coming from a little bit lower on your soundbar. And that's a Sony soundbar to Sony TV pairing technology, which we also use on our receivers. So I know we're getting a little carried away here, but long story short, the ecosystem of Sony all ties together from an audio and a video perspective.
Well, I love the technology and how you're trying to elevate, even because, I mean, let's face it, several years ago, soundbars were, they're getting better and better and better.
Exactly.
And again, not everybody has the ability to put big, massive towers, big subwoofers. So I think the more options we have for consumers, the better.
I think so. And this is the I don't want to say no compromise, but from an aesthetic standpoint, you do get that no compromise audio in terms of the aesthetic. and also giving you enhanced audio performance. So Sony being an audio company as much as we are a video company, it's really great that we have these options without making it too cumbersome, because you get all the wireless benefits, you get all the top firing Atmos speakers up front. Overall, just a great audio solution.
All right, Kayvon, I love talking about dedicated home theaters.
Yeah.
This is your big boy, the GTZ 380. Tell us about this.
Yeah, the GTZ, this has been around for a couple years at this point. However, what this gives you from a performance standpoint, 10,000 lumens, X1 Ultimate for projector processor, liquid cooled. I mean, it's just an all-around awesome projector solution. We're actually showing this as a rear projection on a 110-inch downstairs in our demo room, and it looks like a 110-inch TV. It is insanely bright, and to see just all the different versatile applications you can do with the GTZ is really exciting. You can do short throw, which we're doing in that room. You can do rear pro, and even if you wanted to do front projection, we have this projected onto a 180 from about a 30-foot throw, and the brightness is just unreal. The picture quality is truly unmatched, and overall, you get a lot of the benefits from a processing side and also the new SXRD panels as well. So really excited to see the GTZ just kind of holding its own in that price point. And you have some options, again, if you want to go short throw lens or regular throw, you can definitely
You got a big
that.
room. This is the baby to go with.
That's the no compromise right there. Yeah, we've even seen stacked options of this. People have stacked these.
Getting more brightness out of it.
Yep. So the GTZ is just, again, your no compromise option. And then going down, we have the 7000, which is going to be our $28,000 option. You don't have an interchangeable lens option on this. However, it does use the ACF lens, which allows for us to get a little bit more of that light and contrast passing through the lens better. And the 6000 also shares that lens as well. So between the 7 and the 6000, 3200 lumens, 2500 lumens, but really what makes the 7000 special is for an ambient lit room or a more well-lit room, this has a feature called live color enhancement, which you can tweak on a level of low, medium, or high, and it's gonna bump your color saturation up, but without over-saturating, and that's because it's leaning on the X1 Ultimate for projector, and it gives you that punch that we're used to on a TV without washing out your color. And then going down, again, offer this in both a black option on the 7000, and in the 6000 and 5000, we have them in both a white and black. The 6000 is our lowest price projector that will go between aspect ratios. So if we're doing a scope screen of sort, we're gonna wanna make sure we start with the 6000. And then the 5000 ES, which is our $6,000 projector. That's, again, our all reliable, such a monster at that price point. $6,000 for laser, 2,000 lumens, obviously the Sony name in terms of projection, what we give, and that new SXRD panel. So the projector lineup has stayed pretty constant over the last year. It's just been selling so well, and the feedback from not only clients, but getting them installed, the dealers, everyone has just been really happy with these projectors. So we're just excited to see projection not only make its way into more homes, but the quality of it has gone up tremendously year over year.
Yeah, it has definitely changed over the landscape of that projection, you know, having dedicated theater rooms.
Right.
Just seeing you guys innovate every single year, man. I love what you're doing in the space.
It's crazy, Mike. We almost saw projection kind of starting to take a little bit of a backseat a few years ago. There was a lull in technology that was improving year over year, and this really just pushed the industry in the right direction. And seeing projection in living rooms now and media rooms and rooms that normally had a large panel TV. Now you don't have to worry about that with that laser getting more direct to the screen, and then obviously also your screen options as well that can help with that. So projection is kind of the name of our game, and we're just excited to keep this going with our new lineup.
All right, Kayvon, so for a guy like me, I like projection. I've got a dedicated theater room, but not everybody has that. But they want that big, massive experience. So with some of your other TVs, you're kind of limited in scale.
Correct.
But I'm looking at some awesome crystal LEDs. We saw this last year. You had a massive 220-inch crystal LED. So tell us what we've got right here.
Yeah, we're actually showing, so last year we did the 220, Mike, but this year we're showing the difference between the BH and the CH series. So the BH series here on the left is actually more formatted for like a showroom or commercial application, no matte or no gloss finish on it, more of a matte finish. So you don't have to worry about glare or anything like that. And it's also gonna pump out a little bit more brightness. But if you wanted the contrast focus option, really that theater focus option, then this guy right here in the CH option is gonna be a great way to go. So you get a gloss finish over it. Whenever you see almost like a darker scene, it gives that OLED-like image. And again, these are modular, so for a larger format going into, like, let's say a condo in New York, you can't get a 98-inch brought up the stairs or the elevator, so you got to build it in the actual home. That's really where these are going now, and we were doing these mostly commercial about a couple years ago, and I just had a client ask me if he could play Call of Duty on it, if it has HDMI 2.1 or 2.0, and it's just like, holy cow, these are really moving in that direction where they're wanting to enjoy everyday content, and it's just awesome.
So these are modular. Now, can we do, because again, I love Cinescope. Can we do Cinescope with this? Like
if you wanted to do wide format, you can. The big thing to keep in mind there would be doing some kind of additional video processing to make sure you get the scaling, Lumagen, Mav VR, stuff like that.
That makes
but
sense.
it does have a controller that does come with it, where you can, let's say if you wanted to throw multiple 16:9 aspect ratio feeds on there, you can also do that as well. So the versatility is there from a commercial application or from a consumer application. You want to play Call of Duty on it? Feel free, and we can build this to spec. So as long as it maintains that 16:9 aspect ratio, we have pre-priced packages that are there. And then if we want to do something custom, we can also do that as well.
Sure, so even ballpark figure, I know last year you guys hit me up in the comments, you're like, he didn't really tell us the price.
Yeah.
But that was a different setup there. There was a lot of moving parts to it that made it difficult to give a, hey, it's going to be this for this size.
Because we were going through a process of tailoring this for the consumer market versus commercial, we have now gotten it to where, let's say, non-labor included, just the hardware for the 220-inch, which would give you the pixel pitch needed for 4K, would be about $500,000. That's about what you're looking at. And then we can do something as low as 110-inch, which this guy floats around the 150,000 price point. So just depending on which way you want to go, if we're looking in comparison, because that does sound obviously like a lot of money, but the GTZ 380, which would throw a 220-inch, but a projector solution might not give you as much of a punch. That guy is $100,000 as well. So this could be, when you're in that conversation, this makes a lot of sense. And again, just having multiple options, multiple sizes and aspect ratios we can accommodate, this has been more popular than ever. I'm really excited to be showing this on more the consumer side now.
I love it, man. What else you got to show us here?
All right, Mike, so over here we have the Leon frame, which is available on our X93 series we spoke about earlier. And as you can see, a very nice, clean aesthetic without sacrificing picture quality. So normally on a frame TV, you pay a little bit more for the aesthetic, but we want to give our clients the option of having good picture quality. And guess what? If you wanted to make it as aesthetically pleasing when it's off, you can do that as well. So if you purchase the Leon frame, which comes in 4 different finishes down here, you can also get the app that is included that has all of your artwork and everything needed there for it. So overall, really excited to be offering an option here to give clients a more aesthetically pleasing option whenever the TV is turned off.
So do we have like different patterns? Can you download them? Can you buy them? Tell me,
Sure
kind
thing.
of walk me through that.
Yeah, the app will come with the frame, and in that app are a bunch of different options that you can use for artwork, and then also expand that library as well if you wanted to, and even use your own images, which is awesome.
I love that. So again, providing functionality, but also some class and style, having some different finishes.
Right. The way this industry is moving is, yeah, the TVs look good from a picture quality perspective, but how does it look when it's off, or how does it look when it's just on the wall? And that's where we're going with this. So just awesome to be able to offer this option, and this has really been making waves. Today we just announced it officially, and this has really been making waves, being able to show it in a 65, and then in the Leon booth we have a 75-inch there as well. So
I love it, man. This looks beautiful.
Awesome. All right, Mike, and over here we have all of our pro panels, all of our pro models when it comes to TV, which is great for a lot of different things. Digital signage, long-term longevity use if you're keeping this on for a long period of time throughout the day. And then also just the ease of use of being able to do digital signage through a cloud-based operating system. You're able to really throw up multiple video feeds, kind of scale the video as you want without having to add additional controllers. And that's the idea, is giving our let's say more commercial customers an option when it comes to digital signage, but also making it easy for them to change all of that signage and adjust things that they need to. So we have multiple different lineups that we're showing here. We have the BZ30, the BZ40, 140, and then the 98-inch as well we offer in a commercial option. So just overall really excited to offer our more professional clients an option if they wanted to have that digital signage, or let's say if they wanted to change the format of the screen a lot more simply and easily without sacrificing PQ. Again, getting all of this from a company like Sony, all of that picture quality benefit from our TVs make their way into our Pro displays as well.
All right, Kayvon, we're here in some of your receivers, your AVRs, so those that want to build out a home theater, tell us what we got here.
It's really exciting, Mike, to be back in audio. And Sony, we've always had audio products here and there, but to have receivers, not only have receivers, but as robust as these are, in the theater that I'm about to show you, we're actually driving all 13 channels in that theater from one receiver. So
no external amplification.
No external amplification at 4 ohms of all things. So yeah, really excited to be able to showcase that. But over here, we're just showing obviously the front panel of the receivers, how easy they are to configure and get around. You can actually fully configure these off of the front panel, and then also the nice clean look without the front panel showing if you wanted to use the magnetic clip, and they're very easy to remove and pop on and pop off. So from an aesthetic standpoint, they look great, and also from a functionality standpoint, these are no chumpy either. You get tons of channels to amplify. You also have pre-out capability, so if you did want to run separates, we don't want to say you only have to use Sony. We want to be able to integrate in with our partners, and to be able to do all channels driven from a separate amplification, or if you just wanted to alleviate some of the load for your LCRs up front, you have a lot of versatility when it comes to all these new receivers. So the 5000 and the 7000 ES are the 2 models that will offer pre-out capability, and then we also have the 3000 ES, which is more of our affordable option. Doesn't give you pre-out capability, but is really there to be that workhorse at a good price point. So just overall really excited to be back in the receiver business, and just to be able to offer the industry something that is not only well built, but sounds great and looks great. HDMI has been an issue in the receiver industry for the last couple years with HDMI 2.1, and we actually added a massive heatsink, which I want to show you on this guy over here. You can actually see this heatsink up here, and I don't know if you want to get in on this, but normally you put a heatsink on top of amplification or like a processor, but to put a heatsink on top of an I/O block, your inputs and outputs, that is ultimately what is needed to be able to do HDMI 2.1 stable, those 40 to 48 gigabit a second, just tons of data that's running through there. So we wanted to make sure from the video side, we're not sacrificing anything as well. All right, so Mike, in this room, we're actually showing off our premium theater. So what we have in here, let's go and take a step in first.
Yeah, so this is sweet, Kayvon. I love this.
Yeah, speaker galore. So 13 channels, all driven from one receiver. So we actually have all of our components here at the front of the room. We have a mix of the KEF 5160s and 3160s. We have the 200 RRs in the ceiling, and then 5 subwoofers in here. So even though our receivers run subs in parallel, you're really able to dial in subwoofers just directly on the subs themselves and get that nice performance from that low range that we're used to on a receiver that might have, separates or being able to control directly on the receiver. But on top of all of that, having every single speaker in here driven at 4 ohms from one box is really the message. And we also have an
incredible feat.
It really is. The 360 spatial sound mapping too is the star of the show in this demo. Being able to seamlessly pass audio from speaker to speaker, we're creating phantom audio where audio sounds like it's coming from here and up here when there's no speakers here. No matter where you're sitting in the room, it just does such a good job at giving that immersive listening experience. And without the listening experience, what else will we have? A 7000 projector, projecting onto a 180-inch Firehawk by Stewart. So that is a 1.3 gain screen, and it's just really crazy to see a sub $30,000 projector projecting on that large of a format screen. Let's go step in front of it just so we can give banana for scale.
Oh my golly.
Yeah, so this is a massive screen, sub $30,000 price point, being able to get this kind of picture quality with ambient light in the room. We actually have a light shining directly in front of that projector lens, and it's still able to get all of that to here, no problem whatsoever. So this theater is really meant to be a less than ideal setup. Obviously, it's a trade show.
Sure, absolutely.
And we do have the speakers in good positioning, but being able to have the projector throw at the range that it's throwing at the size it's throwing at, we want to give clients and customers the comfortability to be able to get this kind of projector projector and be able to throw it onto a screen size this big. So,
and again, going back to what you said, so driving 4 ohm speakers, that's heavy on an AVR.
it is.
And when you're at, how many total speakers is it driving?
13.
That's huge, guys.
13 speakers.
And we know that the more channels you add, the less wattage you get.
Correct.
So to be able to get reference volume in here with an AVR, that's super, super impressive.
It is, and the big thing I think is sometimes the audio processing and where it can throw audio makes up for the boom and the power. Sometimes it's just hearing a demo or a movie scene and not necessarily having it rock in your socks off, but it just sounds so pristine and everything is where it needs to be. Such an effective demo that we're doing in here, and we're doing it off the lovely Kaleidoscape. We have a lot of great partners in this room, but from Stewart to Kaleidoscape to Kef, I mean, we're really integrating into the industry and playing well with anybody, and that's really the message here, is being able to use our receivers and our projectors no matter which route you want to go, from a speaker, projector screen, or even a source perspective.
All right, so Kayvon, we're in one of your smaller theater rooms. Yep. Tell us what we've got here.
Yeah, in this room, we're trying to show Mike more of a budget theater or a smaller room. We're trying to open minds. If you do have this kind of room, a little bit smaller, you can still do a theater and take a look at the lighting. That's really the idea. Is this is supposed to be a media type room. Sure. As you can see from the screen, we're actually using the 5000 ES. So this is our entry level laser with ambient light on, and that projector was not necessarily made for an ambient lit environment. However, it is performing, as you see from the picture quality, very well, and that 5000 is just no chump. Even at $6,000, you're getting a great projector, but we're also driving off of the 3000 ES, I believe it's 522, yes. So 522 in here by Monitor Audio. So this is their silver series of speakers. Again, more affordable, but they look aesthetically beautiful. And they are a smaller format, but they really fill this room from an audio perspective. And again, with the 360 spatial sound mapping that we have on our receivers, being able to pass audio very seamlessly to the Atmos speakers and your surround effects. Just overall a great theater demo. And again, not breaking the bank. That's really the idea here. This is projecting onto a 120-inch screen, and as you can see, even for a 120 with the ambient light we have, it just looks great, sounds great, and without breaking the bank.
And that's the great thing. I think you guys, if you're looking to get into home theater, there's just so many options. There's really no reason why you can't build a really killer home theater like this that's budget friendly, that you don't have to take out a second mortgage on your home, and just be able to really have some really great entertainment for you, your family, your friends, guests. This is awesome.
Sure thing. Yep. And that's the name of the game, is we don't want theaters to just be in the minds of the people that want to go all out and do the craziest and latest and greatest. If you want to just get your way into it slowly but surely and start upgrading your components over time, there is some great starting point hardware with Sony that we have, and we want to make sure we send that message with this demo room in particular.
And for a budget, dude, that is beautiful.
It's crazy, isn't it?
That is absolutely
That would have been
gorgeous.
about 50 grand a few, 5, 6, 7 years ago from projection. That kind of picture quality would have costed you quite a bit. So really cool to see.
Well, Kayvon, thanks so much for taking the time to just walk us through your incredible booth, man. You've got products for every home theater enthusiast, from big, massive crystal LED displays to OLEDs, surround sound processors. Man, you've got it all, man.
Thanks, Mike. It's always a pleasure working with you. Thank you so much for coming by, and really excited for all your viewers. Hopefully they got a great tour of the booth without being here, and just thank you so much for everything you do for not only us but the industry. We really appreciate all the deep dives that you take, and truly one of a kind, so I really appreciate it.
Thanks, Kayvon. Well, guys, I hope you're enjoying the content here from CEDIA 2023. We've got many more videos coming your way, so make sure you check out for the latest videos. I'll even put a playlist right over here so you can watch those. Hope you guys have an incredible week. God bless, and we'll catch you in the next video.